The future of sovereignty, a sacred discussion. Lately, the world has been focused on the doom and gloom surrounding Iran, Israel, and the United States. But something about this doesn't sit right with me. It feels more like a scripted play, almost as though it's a carefully designed wake-up call, a collective shaking to pull us out of complacency. Ever since Donald Trump came into office, it feels like everything has been part of this script, a coordinated sequence meant to expose and awaken. I've been asking myself, is this surreal feeling just fear and confusion? Or is it something deeper? Is my spirit sensing a higher plan at work? So I turned to Vedic astrology to see what the stars say. Vedic reading, the global conflict. The astrology confirms what I've been feeling. We're entering an intensely karmic window. Key transits: Mars conjunct K2 in Leo, June-July 2025. This is an aggressive, sudden energy that tends to bring covert military strikes, surprise attacks, or rapid escalations. Mars is the soldier. Ketu is the separator, the detachment point. Together, they signal unpredictable and karmically driven action. Saturn's aspect on the moon. Saturn is putting pressure on the moon globally. This manifests as emotional heaviness, fear, worry, and a collective sense of impending consequence. Jupiter combust, eclipsed by the sun. When Jupiter, the planet of diplomacy and wisdom, is combust, it's as if the world's guiding principles are temporarily burnt out. Diplomacy falters, wisdom gets overshadowed. Sudden decisions override long-term vision. Critical period, June 24th to July 3rd, 2025. This is when these forces peak, when we may see surprise maneuvers, escalations, or revelations that feel shocking and out of sequence. Your intuition, scripted versus scary? My instinct that this feels scripted is spiritually accurate. The driving force right now is Rahu, the shadow planet. Rahu is the master of illusions, deceptions, veils, and karmic setups. It distorts reality until we're forced to see what's real. So the fact that this global stage feels surreal is not because I'm misreading it. It's because the veil is being intentionally lifted in stages. This is not necessarily the end of the world. It's the end of an era. It's a global initiation, forcing us to wake up to truth versus deception. I've also been reflecting on Canada's position within this conflict. Some are concerned about sleeper cells, groups of radicalized individuals who may have entered undetected amid the mass immigration waves Canada has welcomed in recent years. And I know firsthand there are real concerns about sleeper cells within major Canadian cities. But I live in the country where I feel quite safe. It's like paradise here. Still, my family lives in Edmonton, a city that's changed drastically. I know there are risks there. So what does Canada's Vedic chart say? Canada's key transits. Saturn in Aquarius, 10th house from Canada's moon. This is karmic pressure on Canada's leadership and public identity. It's forcing Canada to confront its global role, its national responsibilities, and the consequences of its immigration and security policies. Rahu in Pisces, directly over Canada's moon. Rahu moving over the natal moon creates mass confusion, deception, and a veiling of truth. This is the textbook transit for hidden enemies, infiltration, and betrayal from within. Mars Ketu in Leo, Canada's communication border sector. Canada may experience covert activity connected to its borders or alliances, possibly being pulled into a conflict through trade agreements, information warfare, or indirect attacks. Sleeper cells. Spiritually, this is not just about immigrants. It's about the karmic consequence of Canada's inability to guard its gates wisely. The system failed to discern who was coming in, not because of evil people, but because of blind policies. O'Brien Jennifield. I trust Alberta's leadership, especially under Danielle Smith. She has established a calm, emotionally disciplined government. When she speaks, she doesn't lash out. She answers with solutions, not combativeness. She carefully walks the line, still publicly saying she wants to work with Canada, but it feels as though she is quietly leading Alberta toward functional sovereignty, maybe even aligning more with the United States. The federal government continues to show they don't want to work with Alberta, and I empathize deeply with the polarization Danielle Smith is facing. Vedic reading, Danielle Smith's leadership. This is a karmic test, one of emotional mastery. She's showing the highest spiritual outcome of this transit, calm composure under enormous pressure. Mars in Cancer. Mars activates her protective instincts. She's defending Alberta like a mother defending her home, quietly fierce. Jupiter sextile her sun. Jupiter is blessing her with opportunities for expansion, growth, and international recognition, especially if she stays grounded. She is walking Alberta toward independence, carefully, not impulsively. Timing Alberta's sovereignty shift. Based on Alberta's Vedic chart founded September 1st, 1905, key timelines. Saturn return, 2023 to 2026. Alberta's karmic maturity window. This is the province's moment to define itself for the next 30 years. Mars Rahu period, mid-2025 to mid-2026. A bold, assertive window where Alberta may make irreversible moves toward functional sovereignty. Ketu Jupiter phase, 2027. Alberta may begin negotiating directly with the US or forming economic and defense alliances that bypass Ottawa. The most likely window for irreversible change is between September 2025 and December 2026. The future of governance, kingship, or digital sovereignty? This brings me to a deeper question I've been holding. Can we really keep governing the way we do now? 4-year political cycles no longer serve us. Leaders build for a season, only to have their work destroyed by the next administration. It's a broken system. I believe that's why kingship and royal lineages originally emerged, to provide continuity beyond the fleeting chaos of elections. Of course, that ancient system has been corrupted. But could a version of it return, one chosen by the people, held to spiritual accountability? Or is the future fully digital? A world where each person controls their own digital wallet, their own identity, where the government shrinks because it simply can't access or control our personal sovereignty. The possible futures. Model, description. Micro-kingship. Each person becomes their own sovereign unit with personal power, but regional alliances form around trusted stewards, modern kings, chosen for their wisdom, not elected like politicians. Digital federation. Local self-governing communities with decentralized economies, linked by technology but not ruled by a central authority. Hybrid model. Small government that maintains basic infrastructure while money, health, and identity remain untouchable by the state. Vedic spiritual forecast. The coming age. We are in Kali Yuga, but the seeds of the next age, the Satya Yuga, are quietly germinating within this digital revolution. The stars suggest leadership will return to natural hierarchies based on merit and spiritual resonance. Kingship may return symbolically, not as monarchs of bloodline, but as stewards chosen by the people. Digital individual sovereignty will decentralize personal power. The small is strong. Model will take over. Mega governments will collapse under their own weight. Conclusion. What I'm sensing is that the old structures are collapsing. The new world will be about self-sovereignty, sacred leadership, decentralized power. We're not going backward to monarchies. We're moving forward to something ancient yet futuristic, a blend of personal freedom and collective guardianship. And Alberta might just be one of the first places to walk this path.